Hi, we're on page number 11 entitled Trade Cycle Management, a Process Overview. What you have here is sort of a circle, and it's supposed to look like a trade cycle with a consumer. And this is really getting into the beginnings of the psychology and the processes required to try to get customers onto that method of payment, entitled leasing, and also then manage their trading cycle properly where we can get them back and put them into another car at the end of the term. Really, the chart starts at about what I would say is the 9 o'clock position on the far left-hand side. And I like to write down right there number 1, and it really begins with something called the point of sale presentation. Upcoming modules will discuss how to do this, how to introduce it properly and answer their questions, and whoever it's appropriate for to get them onto the lease option, but it starts at that first sale. We have to bring it up, we have to mention it, not all consumers will ask us for it, and if we can bring up the point of sale presentation properly, and do it ethically and honestly, a certain percentage of people will jump on and choose the lease option. For those consumers that do choose leasing, we then move through something called trade cycle management. And the next thing, sitting at about 11 o'clock, if you want to make a note there, is something that I call delivery reinforcements. When the customer is picking up the car, we'll quickly tell them sort of the term on the lease, what the responsibilities are during the term, and also the fact of how our contact schedule will work, and that we hope to see them when we will see them maybe 3 months or 6 months before the end to do a quick evaluation on the vehicle and what their options are at that point. And we'll plant that seed on delivery as being something that we just do for our customers that lease to help them with that very important decision in 3 or 4 years. Then moving forward at about 2 o'clock, if you want to write down, we have something called ongoing follow-up and relationship management. We want to be favorably memorable to that customer through the term. We'll talk about this in another section, so that when the lease is coming up towards the end and we're making that contact about their options are coming up, we need to get them in for the inspection and go over their lease options. It's not sort of hey, well, what have you done for me lately and who are you? But being able to maintain a tight relationship with that customer during the term and a good service relationship as well is going to help with the next recontact of the customer, which again is typically around 3 to 6 months before the end of the lease. Now, moving forward to around 3 o'clock. At about 3 o'clock, we have what's called a contact for appointment. There's a process to that. We'll get into that in some later on renewal training, but getting hold of the customer through a letter or a phone call or a combination of the above and trying to instill the importance of coming in is crucial. Then moving forward, past that at about 4 or 5 o'clock, we've got what I call a make-a-deal meeting. And what a make-a-deal meeting is a salesperson and manager, maybe a business manager, will sit down, have a bit of a huddle, and review the customer's options and what the best conversation is. An option will probably be for that customer when they come in, using typical scenarios, projected values of vehicles, approximate payments, their service history, and these sort of things. The next thing coming up at about 6 or 7 o'clock is a confirmation call to confirm that appointment to make sure the customer does come in for their options analysis, to be able to sit down and perhaps look at another vehicle as an option, and also go over what their payment would be like if they bought out this car and how that compares to getting a new vehicle. The next step is sitting at about 7:30, 8 o'clock is the actual appointment that comes in that hopefully also includes a demonstration drive and review of options. And at that point, the renewal is sort of instilled, the seeds are planted. Not everybody can make a decision at that particular point, so we've got to do some follow-up, kind of coming into maybe 8 p.m. on that clock or that process overview. Follow-up of that person, should they leave without being closed. Another appointment, really a be-back appointment on the renewal at that point happens. We move them to another car, another point of sale presentation happens as to what their best option is at that point, via either financing or leasing, and then we move on into the trade cycle management of that customer again. Using a tight trade cycle management process, you will help your customer be more satisfied during the term. You will increase all of your repeats and referrals through that entire process and trade cycle for the consumer. And the end of the game really is to make more money, sell more cars, and have more fun. I'm Duane. That's concluding just an overview of what a trade cycle management process looks like. I will see you on the next segment.